Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. I know what you're thinking, you're like, holy shit, how clear is he? Yeah. I've been making videos now for, let me think, since 2013, so that's 9 years, and the quality, I'm not talking about the content, I mean, you know the content is shit hot. The actual quality of my recordings it fluctuates between mediocre and downright shite. And yeah, it's when I watch other people's channels and people that haven't been going for very long, and they've got their camera work is much better, it's not blurred. I mean, I put out a video, a Friday Waffle, a couple of weeks ago, and the quality was bloody awful. It was so blurred, you would not believe. And I just thought, you know what, tighten up your game, son. Really need to do something. So I was, what was I talking to? I was talking to Steve from Retro and Lim now. He obviously recorded the panel talks. And I asked him, I says, what camera do you use? Because the quality of, your videos is really good. And he told me what it was, and I did a wee search, and I think I could have got the camera for about, I don't know, under £100. So I was going to get one, and then I remember talking to a guy called Monkey Spaz now. Monkey Spaz is a fellow YouTuber. Indeed, he was one of the guys that kind of influenced me to start a channel. And the camera that he uses is amazing. It really, really is. Crystal clear, HD, 4K, whatever it is. So I asked him a couple of years ago, I says, what camera do you use? And he went, well, I've kind of gone a bit over the top, but this is it here. And he told me what it was. And it was daft expensive. So I thought, right, I can't afford that. Anyway, fast forward to 2 weeks ago, I was going to buy the camera that Steve kind of recommended, and I thought, you know what, rather than going for a really, really old camera, why don't just for a laugh, I'll have a look and see how much that expensive camera is now. So I did, and yeah, it's now about 2 years old. I did a few reviews, and it's technically classed as sort of the camera that they recommend YouTubers and vloggers buy, whatever. So I thought, you know what, fuck it. You only live once. I work hard for my money. Let's buy it. So I bought it on eBay. Got it for a decent price compared to how much some of them sell for. I'm delighted with it. So this is actually the first face-on video that I've made. Hopefully you can tell the difference. It obviously makes me look, you can see just how old I am. Talking of which, it was my birthday yesterday. Now I'm making this on Thursday, and it was my birthday on Wednesday, so I am now 55 years old. 55. You know what I find quite amazing is, when I was, even when I was 40, which, you were the class as old when you were younger. When I was 40, I couldn't even begin to imagine just what it would be like being 55. And here I am, I'm 55, and you know what, I don't feel a day older. I really don't. So, you know what, I'm one of these people, I just put two fingers up to age. Age is but a number, and it is. People say that age is just a number. It is just a number, because age does not tell you, an age does not stop you looking after yourself. It doesn't stop you doing daft things like having a YouTube channel all about video games. It doesn't stop me doing martial arts. It doesn't stop me basically being a fanny, you know what I mean? That's it. So age is but a number. And so, yeah, what was I talking about? Can't remember what I was talking about. So anyway, yeah, the camera, hopefully you're impressed with it. I know a lot of it is going to depend on the software that you use to edit videos. Now I use a thing called Camtasia. I have tried, is it Sony Vegas and all these other things, but the thing is I'm used to Camtasia. I know it's not it's probably one of the most basic ones when you compare it to some other things, but you know what, it does me. So yeah, hopefully you're impressed with the actual quality of it. If you're not, then I'll be disappointed, because the camera did cost me a few quid, but I absolutely don't mind that at all, because here's the thing, I always say to people, anything that you buy in life, doesn't even really matter how much it costs. If you buy something and you don't, I don't know why I'm looking over there, I should be looking there. If you buy something and you never use it, then it's a complete waste of money. If you buy something that is maybe quite a bit of money and you make use of it, then it's not a waste of money. And that's where I see this camera. I mean, YouTube is it's a big part of my life. So yeah, if I can get something that is going to kind of, not so much help my channel as such, but just basically make my videos look less shit. That was the aim of this one. So hopefully it kind of works. Just excuse me 2 ticks. I'm going to have a quick little drink of my coffee before I batter on. Right, before I kind of get into this week's topic, what have I been doing this week? Last weekend, what was I doing last weekend? I'm trying to think what I did last weekend. Not a great deal actually. Yeah, my girlfriend came over to my bit on Saturday night. We played some pool. I did my live stream on Sunday. Always really good fun. This week, from a gaming perspective, what have I done? Yeah, I've got a story to tell you. I've upgraded the firmware on my Amiga Mini, and so I've now got loads of more games on it, and I was kind of playing that briefly the other day there. Excellent bit of kit, really nice thing. If you've watched any of my live streams, especially the last 3 Sundays, it's been Amiga, Commodore Amiga, and Panther UK, my good mate Christopher, he gave me an image which is awesome. It's an ADF image, not ADF, HDF image, and I've got that running under FSUAE, and it's awesome. It's got every game you can think of. They're all, excuse me very much, they're all WHD, so they all load really quick. Brilliant. Excuse me, I've got a crisp stuck to my wrist. Yummy. Yeah, this image is awesome. What I want to do though, I've got an Amiga A1200, and it's got one of these CF cards inside, which effectively it's got one of these IDE adapter things, so it's effectively a hard disk, albeit on a CF card. Now what I'm wanting to do is I want to put this HDF file onto this, so that when I boot up my Amiga 1200, it will just load up this menu thing. If anyone knows the easiest way to do it, then please let me know. I have asked a few friends, and to be fair, they've given me some decent tips. The thing is, I really need to get another CF card, because I don't even know what size the one I've got at the moment. I think it might be a 4 gig. I'm not too sure, but I think it might be better just to buy another CF card and then try and, I think you've got to kind of burn the HDF file onto a CCF card. In fact, if there's anyone out there that would be willing to maybe do it for me and then send the card to me, obviously I will cover all the costs. Let me know, because I'm as thick as a brick when it comes to the Amiga. I actually contacted Dan Wood. I mean, Dan from the Retro Hour podcast. Dan, what he doesn't know about the Commodore Amiga is simply not worth not worth knowing. So I've asked Dan, he's not read my message yet, but yeah, if somebody could maybe help me out with that, I would be forever obliged. So that's what I've been kind of doing. I was at the computer club on Tuesday. We've moved to some new premises. It's a lot cheaper. It's a big hall that we're in. It's got that unmistakable kind of damp smell, which is great. It's like it's an old, it's actually a Masonic lodge place, and it's got that fusty smell, which is great. That's what you want, because when we first started up the computer club, it was in a church and it had that kind of smell, and that's what you want. It's it's just more nostalgic. So I was at the computer club on Tuesday. What did I take along? I took along, what the hell did I take along? Yeah, took along my little arcade cab thing that I built many years ago. I actually forget just how bloody awesome it is. I mean, it's held together with sellotape and masking tape and you name it. It quite literally is held together with things like that. But you know what? It plays brilliantly. The controls inside are awesome. My mate Mike Hansen very kindly replaced all the buttons. He put, is it Sanwa buttons, the non-clicky ones. Got a really good joystick. So I took that along. There was a guy that came along. He came from Canada, which is an awfully long way to come for a computer club. But he is. I was talking to him for a bit, and he's quite a bit younger than me, which everybody's younger than me, as I keep getting told. His first computer was an IBM PC, and he's got this, I'm going to say it's an obsession with, what do you call it, Minesweeper? Yeah, Minesweeper, that game that came with Windows. And what he's been trying to do is, in fact that actually reminds me, I said I was going to send him my email address, I'll need to do that. What he's been trying to do is go back in time and try and figure out what actually influenced Minesweeper to become a game. And what he's been trying to do is, there's games like on old systems, the Apple II, Commodore 64, VIC-20, all these kind of old computers. There's games that came out in that are very similar to Minesweeper, and what he's wanting to do is try and buy up all these games on tape. Quite a kind of, I think it's very niche. It's a very niche hobby, but quite interesting. The guy was really nice, so hopefully he's going to come along next month. But no, always have a great time at the computer club. What else was I going to say before I forget? I'm terrible at that. I think of something when I'm talking, I think of something else, and I'm like, I need to remember and mention that. Yeah, purchases. I'm a bit of an idiot at times, as you know. There's a thing called Steam Deck. You all know what Steam Deck is. It's a handheld that, what are they called? I don't even know the name of the company. The people that do Steam, they brought out this handheld, and it's stupidly expensive. You know what it is? I'm saying stupidly expensive. It's no more than a current console. You know, I think you can get, there's 3 different versions of the Steam Deck, and I think the only difference is the memory that it comes with it. But anyway, when the Steam Deck was announced, when would it be? I don't know, about a year ago. I thought, oh, I'll have some of that, because any kind of thing that's going to allow me to emulate games, etc., I'm in. So I paid a deposit, a princely £4. I made a deposit and promptly forgot all about the Steam Deck, because I mean, I paid that probably about a year before it actually came out. And about, I don't know, when did the Steam Deck come out? I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. About 6 months ago, I got an email from Steam saying that they'd credited my account with £4. And I'm like, what the hell is this? didn't know what it was, had no idea how that came about. So I checked, and it turns out they'd refunded my my £4. And I thought, well, why have they done that? And then I realised what they'd done is, apparently when the Steam Deck was released, I had the opportunity to buy one, and you only had, I don't know, so many days, a week, whatever. I'm not 100% sure how long you actually had. But I missed that window of opportunity to buy a Steam Deck, and then what they then did was they just refunded my £4. Now at that point, when the Steam Deck first came out, there was a few people that that I know had them, or still probably have them actually, and I watched a few videos, and it was getting less than good reviews, to sort of put it mildly. I think the actual hardware of the machine itself was great. A lot of people were saying that the battery life was terrible. And so I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not bothered. I'm actually quite happy that I didn't buy one. Excuse me. However, about a week ago, I was in Steam playing some games, and it came up, you know, buy your Steam Deck. Now I've read online that apparently these things, I've got hiccups now, these things are quite difficult to get a hold of. I don't know if that's still the case. But I thought, I wonder if I could just buy one. I'll pay the £4, because I'm obviously going to, if I do get one, it's probably going to be months and months away. Well, that's what I thought. So I paid the £4. And then the next day, I noticed, pending on I got the shock of my life when I looked at my credit card statement. I'm like, what? Quick look, they've only gone and taken the money out of my account. So I have got a Steam Deck winging its way. I think it's coming from Holland actually, winging its way as we speak to my house. So I'm going to be a Steam Deck owner. Now, Lactobacillus Prime, my mate Mark, he's got one, and I've been watching his videos. Apparently this thing is absolute dog's bollocks when it comes to emulation. You can emulate PlayStation 2, you can emulate GameCube, and I think you can also emulate the Xbox, the original Xbox. So that's pretty impressive. Plus, you can obviously play, I don't think it's not every game, but you can play a lot of, I keep looking over there, I should be looking at the screen. You can play a lot of, Steam games, hence the reason it's called a Steam Deck. So, just a wee word of warning, Mark, in a few weeks' time I will be pestering you stupid for tips on how to get emulators and what have you on the Steam Deck. So yeah, I've got that coming. I honestly didn't expect to get it as quick. I kind of thought it was going to be one of these things that they were going to, I would pay the £4, and then 6 months later they would refund me again. But anyway, yeah, I've got this Steam Deck thing coming, so it does look good. I'm actually looking forward to getting it. Talking of looking forward to getting things, the Mister. Now, you probably know what the Mister is. It's a device, and people are going to say you don't know what you're talking about. The Mister, to me, the Mister is this little device. It looks not unlike a Raspberry Pi, albeit it's about 20 times more expensive. But it effectively allows you to run all these original systems. Every computer you can think of, from the Auric 1 to the Sword M5 to the Tatung Einstein to the VIC-20 to the C64 to the Spectrum Next, you name it, the Mister will run it. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, why bother with that when you can get a Raspberry Pi or play an emulator on your PC? And you'd be absolutely correct in assuming that, but I've seen enough Mister to realise that it's something that I actually need now. And what's kind of prompted me to decide that I want a Mister is a few weeks ago. In fact, I might have mentioned it in the waffle. In fact, it was at the computer club last month. I took along what did I take along? I took along a PC Engine, and it didn't work. Now that's the second PC Engine that stopped working, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to start replacing things. So see, when hardware starts failing, I'm not going to replace it. I'm just simply not, because I don't have the skills, expertise, or the knowledge to be able to fix these things. And yeah, I know over the next probably couple of years, more and more of my original hardware is going to stop working. And because this Mister, I'm going to say emulates, I know it doesn't emulate, it effectively becomes whatever core, that's what they call them, whatever core you're running on the Mister effectively becomes that machine. You're not emulating it, it actually becomes that. So the benefit of that is you don't get any lag, because there's no emulation involved, it's actually running, it is the machine. It's as good as being an original machine. That's what I've been told anyway. So when I was down in London, when I was down in Blackpool about a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to one of the guys, Erwin. Erwin does watch my channel from time to time. Hello Erwin, nice to see you at Blackpool, mate. He told me that Retro Man Cave has got some Misters in. Now, you may know Retro Man Cave. I don't watch many big YouTubers, which I'm going to come on to shortly, but Retro Man Cave, Neil, is one channel I do watch. He's genuinely interested in the hobby. He's a nice bloke. I've met him once in person, but he just comes across as a genuine guy, so I do watch his channel. Now, he's got one of his mates, somebody that's involved in the channel, they came out with a 3D printed Mister shell, call it whatever you want, and it effectively allows you to put a Mister plus the board. I don't even understand the Mister. I know there's two parts to it, there might be more, but this shell houses these boards, and it effectively turns it into like a console, so it actually looks really nice. So you know, it's something that you could have sitting under your TV. It looks the part. Some of the guys at the computer club, they've got Misters. In fact, I think everybody, bar Mike and myself probably, and Richard as well. I don't think Richard's got one. They all have Misters, and you know, they're the dog's bollocks. They really are. I mean, they're great bits of kit. But if you want to be mega geeky, it's like bare boards, so it doesn't look that nice. You know, I think you can buy like clear cases, like the Raspberry Pi. You can buy cases to put them in. But this thing that Retro Man Cave's selling, it takes a Mister and it turns it into a console. You know, it's got all the ports, everything's supplied, which is great. So anyway, getting back to my story, Blackpool, I was talking to Erwin and he said, oh, Retro Man Cave's got them in. Now, Holly, the Hallmeister as I call her, Holly's one of my friends. She does watch the channel. She's in the throes of programming way of the exploding pish. I got on the phone to Holly, says, right Halls, I need you to do a favour. I need you to get in touch with Neil, because Holly used to work with Neil. So, you know, she's good friends with Neil. And I says, I need you to get me a Mister. So she's done that. Now I think Holly's going to get herself one as well. So we're currently in the queue. We're waiting to get, Holly's going to buy 2 Misters. I'm obviously going to give her the money for my one. Sorry, jump cut, the battery ran out in the thing, but fortunately when I bought it, it came with 3 extra batteries, which is excellent. So anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, so Holly's Holly's ordered herself one, and she's also ordered me one as well, so looking forward to getting that. But I don't actually mind if it's going to be a wee while, because obviously I've got a certain Steam Deck I need to pay for first. Trust me, a Mister and a Steam Deck is a lot of money. So yeah, if it takes a few weeks, a month, whatever, for the Mister to arrive, I'm absolutely fine with that. But yeah, so that's kind of been all the sort of retro talk. Yeah, pretty much. Right, you're probably all sick and tired of hearing about this. Not from me. I mean, I've mentioned it briefly, but I feel I have to say my tuppence worth. Top Man Gamer Lady Decade. Yeah. You've all seen all of Funky Spectrum's videos. I mean, George is a friend. He's a friend of the channel. He does watch my stuff. George is a absolutely cracking lad. He really is. I think George and I are going to get a video together at some point, a bit of a collab. That should be good fun. But George has put a lot of time into putting out the whole debacle surrounding what's going on with Top Hat Gamer and his Mrs. Lady Decade. I'm not really going to get into the meat and bones about that, because everybody's been talking about it. But I was up at my sister's house tonight, and as I was coming back, I watched a video. I don't even know who it was. It was a random video that popped up, and not a particularly big channel. I don't like saying the word big. Big means, what is big? You know, we're talking about subscriber numbers. Quite a small channel. I mean, I think the guy had a couple of hundred subscribers. But he was talking about the whole ebegging, electronic begging. And yeah, what are my thoughts on, you know, making money in YouTube and that kind of thing? I've got no script for this, by the way. I'm just going to kind of talk about it as I see fit. For me personally, you know, YouTube it's a hobby, and I do monetize my channel. I mean, I've said this before. I mean, I make very little on YouTube. I mean, I make probably about £8 a month, you know, and that's through what do you call it, ads on my channel. So it's not a lot of money, at all. I don't really, you know, I don't do Patreon, and I never ever ask for anything, because I just don't think that's right at all. But you know, I make £8 a month, so you know, after 10 months, there's £80. It's nice. That's nice. I don't see there being any issues with people making money on YouTube, because at the end of the day, nobody is. It's a thing, and that's a thing that I kind of laugh at. You know, you get people coming on your channel. When I say coming on, people watching your channel, they've got some sort of entitlement, sense of entitlement about telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and they've got their own opinions about things. And for like people like myself, I says it's just a hobby. I do it for fun. If I can get £8 a month, you know, it's not coming out anyone that watches my channel, it's not coming out their pocket at all. It's Google that are giving me that. So I don't have any issues with that at all. Patreon is a thing that I've never ever been comfortable about doing a Patreon thing. People do say to me on a regular basis, why don't you do Patreon? I would happily give you £5 a month, whatever. And I appreciate that, and I understand why people do it. But for me, if you start taking money for something which was a hobby, if you start getting people to pay you, then the dynamics of why you're doing it, the reasons for doing it, it's no longer a hobby, it's something that you're getting paid to do, and that's where things can change. When I was down in Blackpool 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, 4 weeks ago, I don't know, on a retro trip, Pete's a good lad. I spent about, I don't know, probably a couple of hours talking to Pete on the Saturday night in the bar, standing at the bar and play Blackpool. And now Pete has got an awesome channel. I mean, the quality of his videos are just phenomenal. They're really professional. Pete went, and you'll not mind me saying this, Pete went from being an extremely small YouTube channel like my own, and then in the space of, I don't know, 6 months, he just went through the roof. Now, there's a couple of channels that I always kind of use as a kind of landmark, not a landmark, a yardstick when it comes to like the size of, you know, a retro gaming channel. There's Lawn Boys Post 1975, Dave's a cracking lad, good friend of mine. I think Dave's got about 7,000 subscribers. Absolutely deserves every one of them. You know, he should have more people. Dave's been doing it for a long time. Great channel. Then you've got the old man of the Yoda of the retro scene, Mr. Steve Benway. Steve's been doing YouTube longer than most people. And he's got a great channel. I will be honest, I don't really watch Steve's channel much now because he doesn't do that many kind of game videos. I loved his Friday, what was it called? The Friday Talkie, and that's what influenced this very thing. The Friday Talkie was what influenced, what got me starting the Friday Waffle. I always looked forward to a Friday Talkie would be coming out, and I couldn't wait to watch it. He doesn't do that anymore, and I miss Steve Benway's talking videos. So I don't really watch his channel much now. I don't know if Steve watches my channel at all now. I know he's certainly subscribed to it. But yeah, Steve's got, I think he's got something like 22,000 subscribers now, which is a fair size. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Pete, on a retro tip, he went from like, I don't know, a couple of thousand subscribers, and then in the space of, I don't know, 6 months, he just went woof. He went woof. He's on something like, I don't know, is he on 30,000? He's on some mad amount, absolutely mad amount of subscribers, and he deserves them because his videos are pure quality, as we like to say in Scotland. Fantastic. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. Pete said that he thought to himself, you know what, if I could make enough money out of YouTube then to give up work, then why would I not want to do it? So he decided, fuck it, I'll monetize the channel and I'll open myself to Patreon. So he did that, and he got quite a few people taking out Patreon, and he said, I don't know, he had Patreon running for a few weeks, and then he said that the penny just dropped. He suddenly realised, wait a minute, this is no longer a hobby. I've got people that are giving me money every month to make content, so it's turned from being a thing that you can do as and when you want to something that I've got to do. And he decided after just a few weeks that he didn't want to have Patreon anymore, so he removed it. And you know, this is the mark of a guy that, you know, a good lad that Peter is. He actually contacted the people that had given him money from Patreon, and he refunded their money because he didn't want to take anything for it. So yeah, he's now, I mean, he's probably one of the very few channels of that size that doesn't actually accept Patreon, you know. So I utterly respect. I mean, I respect Peter anyway. He's a cracking lad, but I respect him all the more the fact that he's done that. He could quite easily probably make really good money with Patreon, but he's decided he doesn't want it. Like me, I mean, I would make, I don't know, if I did Patreon, I might get maybe one or two people give me a fiver or something. He's got the same thought process as myself. He doesn't want to make money. He's not comfortable doing that, so he doesn't do it. But then, don't get me wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong. This is meant to be about ebegging, and I'm kind of going away and off on a tangent. There's lots of people who have big channels and smaller channels, and they do Patreon. There's, I think, Gadget UK, Nick Jenkin. You know, these guys do Patreon, and they've both got really good channels, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Steve Benway does Patreon. I mean, Steve does frequently buy stuff, and he'll say, well, you know, I was able to buy this because of the money that I made through Patreon, and that's great. Absolutely fair play to these guys. There is nothing at all wrong with having this there, so that if somebody who watches your content decides, you know what, I really like what Steve Benway does, I love the content that Gadget UK puts out. They both put out really entertaining channels. Nick Jenkin, you know, they put out great content. Why would you not want to, if you want, as a viewer, if you want to be able to, not so much reward them, but just say, look, by the way, I love what you do, thanks very much for all the effort that you put in, there's a fiver, I'll give you a fiver each month. I mean, I pay, what do I pay? I pay £18 a month for my podcast software. I don't begrudge that. I pay £28 for StreamYard, or is it 30 now? I can't remember. Every month. Again, it's a service, I pay for it. I pay $7.99 a month for Amazon Music. I pay the same for Netflix. Why do I pay that? Because I like what I get. They provide a service, I pay for it. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with somebody who makes content allowing the viewers, and that's basically what you are, you're a viewer, to give you something back. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Then you get onto the ebegging thing. Now, ebegging is effectively going in front of the camera, or behind the camera, in front of the camera, and asking the viewers for money. Now, I've seen that happen a few times. There's a guy that I know in person, and he's did ebegging to buy something for his computer, and I personally thought it was absolutely disgusting what he'd done. If he's watching this, he probably knows that who I'm referring to. I like the guy, I don't have any issues with the guy at all, but to actually use your channel, your Twitch channel, your YouTube channel, to actually ask for money so that you can get a better motherboard or a better camera. I mean, this camera, I could have said, oh, by the way guys, if you want to see a better quality video from me, then give me money and I'll buy this camera. I bought that camera with my own money, you know what I mean, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This guy begged, he actually started a GoFundMe so people could give him money to get a new motherboard or a graphics card. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I think that is just absolutely diabolical. Really, I think that's quite shameful actually. Like I said, I don't have any problem with the guy at all, but I just think that is totally wrong. That's something I would never ever do. So that's ebegging. Then you've got people who are in positions of, they're in very, very lucky positions. People like big YouTubers like, is it Metal Jesus, whatever he's called, I can't remember. He's an American, Canadian, I don't know exactly. He's got a several million subscribers, and I believe a few years ago, he asked his viewership to give him money so he could tour the world. And apparently he's done that on a few occasions, and I don't know how these people can sleep at night. I just think it's to ask people who are, people that watch my channel, I know quite a few of them in real life, we chat regularly. I know for a fact that these people are not well off, you know what I mean? They're the same as me. We work hard for a living, we've got jobs. They don't have a lot of, disposable income. And so then when you get some extremely fortunate people who have big channels, when I say big channel, I mean they've got a lot of subscribers, to actually ask for money. Now, I said I wasn't going to get into the whole top hat gamer thing, but I'm going to, because the guy, the video that I was watching tonight said something, and it never really hit home until I watched that video. Now, Top Hat Gamer, he's a professional YouTuber. It's his job. His missus also does it full time, I believe. If I've said anything that's wrong, then you can let me know. But the man and wife, they've both got full-time, sorry, I'm just scratching my leg. They've both got full-time YouTube channels. Now, I was watching, just out of curiosity, one of Lady Decade's videos, or was it? No, in fact, was it? No, it wasn't Lady Decade. Well, I can't remember. It was either, yeah, it was. I'm sure it was Lady Decade. And I looked at the description in the video, and she had about, 15 credits. She was crediting 15 different people. And when I went into some of them, she'd basically taken these people's videos, she'd taken, stolen, whatever you want to call it, she'd taken their videos and used it in her own videos. Now you could say, well, wait a minute, she's crediting these people. But what she's effectively doing is she's taking 20 people who've made their own videos, stealing their stuff, putting it all together, putting it out there as a video that she's made, when 99% of the video has been lifted from other people's channels. Now, like I says, forgetting the fact that, yeah, has she actually contacted these people and asked if she can use that? I very, very much doubt it. So she's using other people's content, and then she's making money. She's making money on the back of hard work. Now, when you're making content, when I do my Arcade Perfect My Arse, I've got to play all these games. So if I have 10 systems that, Year Kung Fu, whatever it is, I've got to play all these systems to get footage. On the very, very, very odd occasion, if I can't maybe get a particular one working, I will take a wee bit from somewhere and put it out, and I'm not saying that's right, but that's on a very, very odd occasion. I don't think I've done that for a good number of years. But for a professional YouTuber to actually make money on the back of effectively stealing all these other people's content, it would be like me downloading clips from Star Wars, all the Star Wars films, add in a few bits for Jaws, chucking a bit of Indiana Jones, bit of Titanic, bit of Towering Inferno, bit of King Kong, chucking all these clips together and putting down, thanks to Steven Spielberg for Jaws, putting all these wee clips together and then putting it out as a MainMeister video and not charging people money, making money on the back of that. That is wrong. That is really wrong. And when Funky Spectrum George was going on about how both Top Hat Gamer and Lady Decade do steal from other channels all the time, there's something wrong in that. There really is. Unless, of course, these guys are contacting every single YouTuber that they use content from and say, look, do you mind if I take a minute's footage of you playing Berserk? Is that alright? And they come back and say, yep, not a problem. Then you could say, well, at least I've asked. Still, morally, I still think it's not right, because they've not actually made that for themselves. I'll tell you one thing, I would be pissed off if I found out that either of these people, not even Lady Decade and Top Hat Gamer, if I found out that any other YouTuber had actually taken content from my videos and were making money out of it, I think I would be pretty pissed off. Now, Top Hat Gamer has done this before. He's got a bit of a history for doing that, stealing stuff, and then when somebody calls him out in it, he gets all defensive, he doesn't apologise. Now, this is the thing that I mentioned earlier that hadn't really crossed my mind. Yeah, these guys, Top Hat Gamer, used a photograph that belonged to somebody, and this person is a professional photographer. Is it Martin O'Neill, I think it is? I meant to say, I did contact Martin. Like, Martin put his own video giving his side of the story. Now, if what he says is true, and I don't have any reason to believe that it's not true, he has been threatened, his family have been threatened, all because he dared to ask for money that belonged to him as fair usage for content which he owned. You know, he's a professional photographer. So, yeah, anyway, I contacted Martin and I've said to him, look, if you fancy coming onto my channel one day and we can just talk about copyright and how it impacts on YouTube and what effects, how does it affect content makers, how does it affect people like himself, you know, how does that actually happen? Because I think we really need to get to the bottom of this and try and stop it happening. So yeah, they used something that belonged to this guy. This guy quite rightly said, look, this belongs to me, you've been using this for 2 years, give me whatever it is and we'll call it a day. There's been absolutely no apology at all from either Top Hat Gamer or Lady Decade. But the thing that, over and above all that, you know, the way they've acted, I think, has been really, really poor. The thing that annoys me most of all, and I only thought about it when I was watching this video tonight, was they got hit, call it whatever you want. They got asked very, very nicely to pay this guy, Martin O'Neill, £420. Now, unless you're homeless, and I hope you're not, because, you know, we're all but one wage away from being homeless, unless you're maybe unemployed or, you know, really, really bereft of money, £420 is not a massive amount of money. I'm quite sure if I was to ask my friends, look, I really need to get my hand on £420, would you help me out? I could ask good friends, and I'm quite sure, in fact, I'll tell you right now, one of my mates, and I did mention his channel earlier on, he offered to give me money a few years back when I was going through quite a hard time, and I never took him up on it. But you know what, there's ways, I'm sure we could all get our money, we could raise money. But for these two people, Top Hat Gamer, instead of him putting out his own video, he got his wife to put out her own video, you know, coming on screen crying, saying that she can't afford to pay this money, and behind her she's got all these games, all these systems that are probably worth thousands. And to actually, so she could easily have raised that money themselves, because from what I gather, they live in quite a nice house, they have a lot of holidays. I believe Top Hat Gamer, I'm sure I watched it, I don't believe for 1 second Top Hat Gamer, he doesn't speak to me, I'm way too small. If I've got that wrong, I do apologise, but I'm quite sure that he commented on a video or on Twitch or something, and he made a statement along the lines of he makes more money in a month on YouTube than he did when he was working for a whole year as a school teacher. So these two people are not exactly short of money. And to come on and physically beg for people to give them that money it's beyond despicable. It really is. It's immoral, and to me it just shows that they don't have any self-respect for anybody that watches their videos. I mean, that is one thing. When I do my live streams, I always say, multiple times, I'll always say thank you very much for taking time to watch my videos, because you've got to, you can't take it for granted. I really do respect and appreciate anybody that takes time to watch my videos, even if they think my content's shite. The fact that they're taking time to watch it, I think, is amazing. But to actually come on to your channel, make a video, make a begging video, and breaking down in tears and asking other people to give you money so that you can pay this fine or whatever you want to call it, that is diabolical. It really is, because it would be a bit like Elon Musk going into Regent Street in London and waving a begging bowl about. Oh, I've got to pay £500, can you help me out? Fuck off, Elon Musk. You've got millions, you're the richest man in the world. I don't think for one second Top Hat Gamer Lady Decade are the richest people in the world, but they're not exactly short of a bob or two. They make good money they must make good money on Patreon. They have a lot of holidays, and to make a video which is the sole purpose of the video is to extort money from people. Now, you could argue and say, well, they're not extorting money, they're asking, they're not physically going up and robbing people, but to use your wife, and I believe they put their kids out in front of the camera as well, is absolutely despicable. They had no reason at all to ask their viewership for that money. They could quite easily have sold a couple of games, whatever, got the money, borrowed it off a sister, brother, mother, whatever, sold one of their fancy Game Boys. They could easily have sold some stuff, got the money. It wasn't like, you're not talking £10,000, we're talking 420 quid. It was less than £500. And then of course, some big YouTuber, some American guy, Canadian guy, I'm not quite sure, he watched the video, Lady Decade's video, and he immediately gave them the money because he felt sorry for her. And that would be bad enough, but what makes it 10 times worse is they continued to ask for money, and they continued to accept money and take money based on trying to make people feel sorry for them, and that is awful. E-begging is a terrible thing. It really, really is, and it's especially when it's coming from people that they don't need to. I would almost guarantee the people that they're asking to give money, they're probably in a much, much poorer financial position than they themselves, and to take money like that is just, it's wrong. It really is wrong. And what annoys me is, whilst it doesn't affect me in any shape or form, people, legitimate channels that I've mentioned earlier on that do get Patreon and all that, it could tarnish what other people think of them. It could tarnish what people make of YouTubers that try and make some money. And you know what? Regardless of your viewpoint, your standpoint, or your opinion about everything that's going on, it's left an extremely sour taste in the whole community, and that kind of annoys me. It really, really does. But anyway, listen, I'm going to stop talking about that because I think we're all sick to death of hearing about it. Apart from Funky Spectrum, if you've not subscribed to George's channel, I will put a link to his channel down below. I think his subscribers have gone through the roof actually in the last couple of weeks, and it's well deserved because George is currently my favourite YouTube channel. Honestly, brilliant. I'll put a link to George's channel down below. Hopefully get George on the channel at some point, and hopefully also get Martin McNeil onto the channel as well. Anyway, I better go and upload this video because it's recording and whatever it is, it's going to be humongous file size. It's probably going to take 10 hours to render the video. Hopefully you'll notice it looks better than normal, albeit the content is still pish. I will be back along on Sunday. I think we've had enough Amiga. I've done the last 3 weeks I've been Amiga. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll have a think about it. I will put a link into YouTube, Discord and Facebook like I normally do. So anyway guys, I'm going to get going. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I need to look at the camera and say looking over there, you twat. As always guys, massive thanks for watching. Take care. See you.